50 years ago, before Roe v. Wade came in, it wasn't a federal law. So why are you so exercised about it? I'm just curious.
Piers Morgan has a show, and he's sometimes odd. He's an odd person. I've discussed before how I think Piers Morgan he has no real ideology. His ideology is to the dollar. What he thinks will get views is what he tends to do. So that has led him to having sorts of debates where he brings on people on opposite sides, regardless of how wrong the one side is. He'll bring them on to fight and sit back and watch it happen. What we may not recognize as often is how stupid some of his questions are. In fact, I am maybe being slightly hyperbolic here, but not really. This may be the dumbest question I've ever seen posed on a political show. So I'm going to play this clip and we will discuss this.
It just seems to be such a hot potato in America to take it back to the States, when there are, in fact, a number of other laws, obviously, which are governed by states, not federally. And I'm just curious why this one is deemed to be so sort of sacrosanct, given that 50 years ago, before Roe v. Wade came in, it wasn't a federal law. So why are you so exercised about it? I'm just curious.
All right, before we get to Brian's response here, let's just go over this question again, okay? 50 years ago, before Roe came in, it wasn't a federal law. So why are you exercised about it? Why have a political show? This idea that, why are you so worked up about this thing that has now stripped rights away? Because at one point, it wasn't even there. What is this argument? I tweeted this out and somebody replied. It gave a good analogy here. 250 years ago, before the U.S. was founded, democracy wasn't a thing. So why are you so upset about losing it? Like that, he may as well have asked that. It's such a stupid question. You're hosting a show about politics. Do you know what you're doing? It's so dumb. But Brian Tyler Cohen, while he may be a bit caught off guard by the question, does a good job answering it here.
I'm just curious.
Because I believe that people should be able to exercise rights over their own bodies. I mean, prior to black people having the right to vote, they weren't allowed to. I would be worked up if that was rolled back too. Prior to women having the right to vote, they weren't allowed to. I would be worked up over having that too. Prior to black people having freedom, they didn't. I would be worked up if that was rolled back as well. We deserve rights, we deserve progress, and the notion that we should just take it lying down when those rights are rolled back defies reality.
He does a good job there. I'm just still amazed at how stupid of a question this is. I find shows like this, think of how little effort Piers Morgan has to put in. All the effort here is on the producers, whoever books the show for him, because it's on them to figure out, okay, who can we get on that's going to have a good fight? That's what they end up booking that while Piers sits back and just poses topics. This involves so little work. He doesn't have to research anything. He doesn't have to put anything. And to be fair, he has segments where he doesn't have, a debate. And again, these shows have producers that do all the work for him. But the bulk of what goes viral for him, the bulk of what does him numbers, are these sorts of debates where it's just the people fighting and he's just sitting back and either taking it because he's losing every debate he's in, or it's someone else fighting. It's kind of disgusting how politics has been made into this sort of entertainment sport where there are aspects of coverage of political issues that are done through entertainment that I think are useful and important. I think comedy is probably the best way to inform people about political issues. Debates can do that, though they tend just to be a way for you to rah-rah your own side. But he's really turned it into, the issue I have with how he does the debates is that many of his debates are about issues that should not be debatable. You cannot debate whether or not a genocide is a good thing. Yet he debates that all the time. He has those debates on his he has one side defending what Israel's doing, which is a genocide, and the other side that is fighting for human rights. These are not debatable topics. So if you're going to have a debate, at least have a debate about an issue that is a debatable issue. But to create debates out of things that where there should be no debate, such as human rights, I find to be reprehensible.